The system is failing. We're going to have more homelessness, more unemployment, and the government has to print more money. It's a command and control economy where the government tells you everything. I just don't trust our government. And they're going to have to start printing pretty quickly. And the more they print, the less value, purchasing power the dollar has, or the loonie, or the yen, or the peso. People are talking about inflation. I think we're in depression right now, and we're going to be the biggest depression in world history. In the 1970s, that's when the world was changing. The biggest bust in the history of the world is coming up. It's pensions. They trusted the government. They trusted their pension would be there, and it's going to go bust. And that's us. We get crushed.
Again, I said it last week. I'll go out on a limb and predict my equivalent November fall predictions. Last fall, it was that the markets were going to poop the bed. My prediction now is that I think the markets are bottoming and consolidating. And this is the time, I think, to start nibbling and start getting ready to really rip the money in. And I think there's enough signals every day that kind of like tell me at least that on the margin, it's time, because I think the markets do a reasonably good job of digesting news and then pricing the forward reality, right? Like today's price is really everything we already know. And so the real guess is what's about to happen in the future. And from my perspective, I'm actually pretty starting to get a little constructive here. I think that when companies like Facebook really do this, and like if you think about it one way, the financial markets have always had this thing that we have called a Fed put. What does that mean? A put is essentially the right to sell something. And what market participants have always known for the last decade is that if things got very hairy, if there was uncertainty in the market, the Federal Reserve would, and they have, consistently stepped in to create a buyer of last resort. And so it always eliminated that last part of true, supply-demand balance, because they would just come and say, don't worry.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. And what's going to be a quick one, but a powerful one. That clip was from billionaire entrepreneur and owner of the Golden State Warriors, Chamath. And the reason I bring that up is because a lot of people keep asking me, Bull, how is it possible that you can be bullish on this market with everything going on in the world right now? Let me be clear. Me personally, I see a financial collapse coming. That is a 110% guarantee. However, we are in a moment in time where we have crashed in the markets for 9 straight months. Now, I do believe we are in for a reversal, especially in crypto. Ladies and gentlemen, Chamath was saying he believes prices have bottomed and there may be a recovery in there, and that is something I have been echoing for a while. That does not mean we are in a bull market. That does not mean the stock market's going on a bull run. All that means is prices can go higher before they roll over, and that is something that, if we look at past history, would be powerful for the crypto space. Now, regardless of whether or not that happens, that's something that you need to keep in your mind. And another principle I would like for all of you to understand is that oftentimes markets price in negative news and negative future sentiment and fundamentals ahead of time before they actually occur. Like Chamath stated, that's something you all need to be aware of. I do believe a reversal, especially in the crypto market, is upon us. And I'm extremely excited for when that moment happens. And I believe what you're reading on the screen right now will be a catalyst for it. Ladies and gentlemen, the SEC staff doesn't even like Gary Gensler. Gary Gensler was flaunting the Kim Kardashian case on public TV. Some enforcement division staffers stated Gensler was publicity seeking. And people, we know the SEC doesn't even like Gary. Oh, Gary, you're not looking good right now, Gary. It's not like you ever did. But now your own team doesn't like you at all. The reason I'm saying this is because this negative publicity for the SEC is because Gary Gensler is looking for publicity. He's looking to forward his career. He wants to be the treasurer of the United States. I believe that is what he wants. And currently, this case and a potential enforcement settlement action with the Ripple case could be a great catalyst to propel him up there. All I'm saying is, keep your eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes on Gary. Keep your eyes on XRP, as I believe this case is coming to a rapid conclusion at any given moment. Part of the reason I believe this is because the cracks in the financial system are showing themselves more and more every day. From Ponzi finance, credit default swaps on Credit Suisse are skyrocketing. The bank is deeply intertwined with the US financial system. We're not being told the truth on the potential for systemic risk. So I'll tell you the truth. Everything is fucked. Fantasy economics have been prevalent for the past 100+ years, ever since the Federal Reserve came into play. That's the fact of the matter. The powers that be and the elites, they know exactly what's going on, and everything that's happening in the world right now has been 100% on purpose. The Bank of England has confirmed that the UK pension funds almost collapsed. This is a prime example of how quickly things can change in the financial system. We are in uncharted water, and central bankers must feel overwhelmed with everything going on in the global economy. No, they don't. They don't care. All they know how to do is destroy wealth. Whether it's by raising interest rates and causing a recession, or by lowering interest rates and making more inflation. Inflation is the death by 1,000 cuts tax. Raising interest rates is the death of financial markets tax. Pick your poison. The middle class gets screwed either way, unless you own the most suppressed asset class on the planet. Unless you own digital assets pre-regulation, pre-full-blown bull run, pre-utility. XRP will be your lifeboat to get off this financial Titanic that we're about to experience. Get it together and pay attention. Ladies and gentlemen, someone I know all of you remember very vividly is Judy Shelton, Trump's nominee to be the head of the Federal Reserve. She did not get in there, but this is what she said. Keep an eye on derivatives, 600 trillion in notional value, almost all linked to interest rates and currency differentials. When interest rates rise fast, markets tend to break. Markets broke. Specifically, the Bank of England broke. And I believe we are seeing the shock waves felt in markets right now. Markets are cracking. Institutions are cracking. Liquidity is drying up fast. But it just so happens to be the case that this SEC case is coming to an end, and on-demand liquidity will be unshackled to be allowed to be the solution to a financial crisis. You guys know how I feel about that. And I think you could see it coming a little more every single day. Finally, guys, I'm going to leave you with this. Blockchain backer stated, XRP has never been hacked. And hypothetically, if XRP ever did get hacked, there is nothing Ripple could ever do to halt XRP. There is a narrative that goes around stating XRP is not decentralized. And the reason that's so frustrating is because a lot of people that invest in the crypto market that say XRP is centralized actually invest in centralized cryptos. Cough, cough, Solana, pause, break down, shut down the blockchain. Cough, cough, Ethereum more centralized after the merge, and the possibility of undoing transaction now exists. That is powerful. XRP is more decentralized than both. Now that's a hot take, but facts don't give a damn about how you feel. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. If you aren't doing so already, please give me a follow on OnlyFans down in the description below, as tonight I am posting the longest and the most powerful gem-filled video on there I have ever posted. This video is my 4th rule of my 22 rules of being a crypto investor, and I believe everything I discuss in there will change your lives forever. Please give it a chance, and I hope to see you all in there. As always, guys, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
The Great Depression was not produced by a failure of business. On the contrary, it was produced by a failure of government, and a failure of government in an area in which responsibility had been assigned to government since the founding of this country. The Constitution of the United States. It gives Congress the power to coin money and set the value thereof. And it was in the management of this fundamental function of government that government failed and produced the Great Depression. We have learned from that failure. The Federal Reserve will not fail in the same way again. This time it will fail in a different way. This time it has been failing, not by producing a Great Depression, but by producing an inflation. Because just as you will hear the story that it was business that was responsible for the Depression, so you will today hear the story that it is labor and management that are responsible for inflation. It is the same kind of a myth. Inflation is made in one place and one place only, Washington, D.C. And in Washington, D.C., the chief source is a Greek temple on Constitution Avenue, which houses the Federal Reserve Board. And a major accomplice, of course, sits in the halls of Congress in Washington. They are a major accomplice because you tell them to be. The American people have been telling Congress for many years, spend more money on us, please. But they've been telling us, don't raise our taxes. Congress has been listening. It's been spending more money on you. But on the other hand, it's been very unwilling to raise taxes. As a result, it has imposed inflation as a tax. That's one tax that you don't have to vote for, but you have to pay. Well, again, with respect to money, can you print money at no cost? It's very cheap to turn out those pieces of paper. But does that get society something for nothing? Not at all. It's simply a different form of taxation. If you print money, people have more money to spend. If they spend more money on the same amount of goods, prices go up. And in effect, everybody is paying a tax through inflation. Once again, it's only a form of taxation.